And dressed up like it's a winter again, Maharaj.
Well, there's a reason. Actually, I was going to go outside and hold the program at the Samadhi, Pushpa Samadhi here, because we're still very much in Gurudev's remembrance. But then I thought, actually, there's neighbors here and neighbors here, and it's 4 a.m., and they may not appreciate me making a big sound. So I'll try not to speak too loud anyway, because I've made a half measure. I'm in the room, but with the window open, so that
Maharaj,
you can at least see the Pushpa Samadhi.
when you were doing your Zooms at Govinda Farm at 5 a.m.,
yeah,
even though I couldn't hear exactly, I mean, your voice, but the vibration was so strong that I would just wake up. It was impossible to continue sleeping.
well, that's what I don't want to happen with the neighbors. They've got good relationships with the neighbors. However, we must understand that
But it's an auspicious vibration.
the topic is certainly auspicious, but they may not see it in the same light, Paramananda Prabhu. So anyway, being practical, and here we are. So I made a last minute arrangement, but we had a beautiful program yesterday evening also to Brazil, to the devotees on the Samadhi Mandir, and here it began at 8 p.m. and it was still like fully light. And then it went from that transition from fully light to fully dark. And we had the lights, and actually it was a beautiful program. And and who was there and spoke so nicely was Prafulla Krishna Prabhu. And I don't know if any of you know Prafulla Krishna. No. If you knew him, I would know your faces would light up immediately. But you might do Paramananda.
I knew him.
Yeah, you might do, right.
Is he very tall? Very tall, gentlemanly?
He is very tall and very gentlemanly, yes. And he's from Brazil, but he's actually, as most Brazilians are, as it turns out, they're Italian, basically they're Italian Brazilians, whatever it may be.
Yes.
And they really do think themselves next door neighbors. They don't realize there's a whole South Atlantic Ocean between them, well, and Europe. There's a whole of Mediterranean and Europe and the Atlantic before Brazil, and South Atlantic, not only that, but they think themselves next door neighbors. Anyway, it was a beautiful program. Prafulla Krishna, very, very happily speaking, and like a river flowing like the Ganges River, and a beautiful program. Anyway, actually, we were reflecting with Munindra Mohan Prabhu after the program that yesterday, from this dark time going to light, I mean completely dark and going to light, then we were engaging in like the glorification of Śrīla Gurudev for his disappearance day, but not focusing on his disappearance, focusing on Gurudev's glorification. And so morning from dark to night, and morning from night dark to day, fully day, and in the evening, as it turned out, from like fully day to fully dark. So we had a whole day of glorification in many ways, and maybe with all of you at some time or another during the day, we were with the devotees. So very happy. And here programs, and here we did Sankirtan. They had the kiosk, the vegetarian kiosk open, Śrīla Govinda Seva Ashram kiosk. I don't know, forget the name. Anyway, they had that open. It's a Saturday, so the people were coming to the park for exercising, and they're coming there, and we did Sankirtan. It means sitting, so you can say bhajans, but for quite a long time, and very beautiful in the afternoon in the Ghats. So it was a beautiful day, and we had guests, we had new people, because of course anybody who comes to the Sankirtan, to the kiosk, they're going to be wondering, who are these people and what are they chanting? And so it was a very happy day. And from my side, I can say one extra happiness happened at the end of the day, when naturally, you have a full day, and naturally one is little tired when it comes to the evening time. But then we did the program here at the Pushpa Samadhi right behind me. It's not a photo, it's live. And then I was sitting sort of diagonally sideways on to Srila Gurudev. And then at the end of the program, giving obeisances to everybody, gave obeisances to Gurudev and coming up. And Gurudev, it was just so alive, smile from Gurudev. I was very struck and I thought, okay, Gurudev. I mean, really, I mean, we see pictures, we know pictures, etc. But it was really an alive smile. And we just pray to Gurudev's lotus feet. We know he sees everything. We know Guru Maharaj sees everything. So we need to remember that, pray, continue going. What can we do? We can put our little drop to the bridge. We just had Ramayan, the appearance of Ramachandra, Ramanavami, and the little bird, or the little birds, but the chipmunks, the little chipmunks are putting their grains of sand to help make the bridge, the little pebbles. So we can take up a grain or two of sand or a little pebble to help Gurudev's glories, Guru Maharaj's glories be heard. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, humble obeisances on this morning, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And I didn't get any messages this morning, but I didn't message myself also, but I know that I need to be good and turn on Facebook so that I can see who is there. Back to basics classes. Krishna, 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 hey. And here we are. And we're on Facebook. And Anukul Chandra Prabhu is there on Facebook. Yes, Dandavat, Dandavat. Anukul Chandra Prabhu, we're happy to visit you in your home as well as you are visiting us here. Jai. So today is still in America. It is the Vyasa, the disappearance day of Srila Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. And we saw a little bit of Janardhan Maharaj's class. I don't know, maybe you saw the whole class, but very happy to see that they set that up at the Samadhi, the Pushpa Samadhi in Santa Cruz. Yes. Because that Samadhi also is super sweet. And Gurudev, when he's there, he's telling, when I leave my body, then I'm going to, you know where I will be? I'm going to go up there in that tree, because it's on the side of a hill. I'm going to go up there in the tree and see everything that's going on. Yes. And there at that tree, underneath that tree, they've made the Pushpa Samadhi with some remnants of the actual Samadhi of Gurudev in Navadip. And they beautifully made that Samadhi. That has its own history too. And you can say service to Guru, the glorification of Guru, this is our very life and soul. And yes, okay, sorry, I just need to acknowledge something here and turn off, okay, mute as well. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right. So service to Guru is a very life and soul of what is devotional life, and that Samadhi Mandir in Santa Cruz at the temple there, it was a service from the heart. I've heard from maybe, I don't know, 30 devotees, 30 different devotees there maybe, about how it manifested. And they've shown me, devotees have shown me, I put in these bricks here, you know, everybody had their part to play in making it. And Hassi Prabhu, he's a manager. Hassi Prabhu is a very organized person, and he, no doubt with consultation with Janardhan Maharaj, but he came up with this plan that, okay, we have the plans, we know what it's going to be, but the prayer was everybody please come and participate and put some of your heart into this Samadhi Mandir. And so it manifested in a very beautiful way. And devotees, until this day, I mean, they feel joy in what they've done to participate to make that Samadhi Mandir happen. And it is really a super place. It's on the hill, and they have chairs there with cushions so that you can put your feet. So first of all, you can sit in the chair. They're simple chairs, but they have cushions so that not too austere. And they have cushions so that you can put your feet on a cushion instead of the very cold floor, because it can be a very cold floor there. So it's a beautiful place simply to go and chant japa beside Gurudev, and to go there and to read and to go there and be with devotees. It's a very open, sweet place to be with devotees. And so we were happy, very happy to see Janardhan Maharaj giving class there online, and to devotees who were there as well. Though the camera, the part I saw, it was only on Janardhan Maharaj, so I'm not sure how many people were present. And then here in Vila Govinda at the Pushpa Samadhi, and of course Govardhan, the Pushpa Samadhi in Govardhan, where all of us who've been there, I think everybody who goes there, we feel, oh, Gurudev's presence so greatly. I mean, so greatly, not a little greatly, but like always we go there and we say, oh, here is Gurudev. But as I mentioned yesterday after the evening program and turning around, then also we get these little glimpses. Yes, Gurudev is with us. Gurudev is with everybody, not only he's with one person, but with everybody. And then of course in Navadip, Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, they will have had some program. But I have to say that even in the you can say all the time, you can say every Vyasa, every disappearance in Navadip that I've been to, I always wanted it to be like I'm preparing myself, or this will be a happy day, that we'll be glorifying Gurudev at his Samadhi Mandir. It will be very special, but it was always a very sad day because of, being there in the mat without Gurudev, and knowing that Gurudev disappeared from this world, and remembering all these things. So in a way, it is actually very good for us to be one little step, separate from the program which takes place there. And we are with Gurudev by doing the glorification. But if we really want back to basics, then really the basis of what we are doing is chaste bhakti to Sri Guru. This is devotional service. This is what we need to do. And who is Srila Gurudev? He's none other than the distributor, the expansion of Guru Mahārāj in his distribution form, you can say. We know about Shakti Avesh Avatar, that they are empowered by Krishna, as we know in the case of Srila Prabhupada, as we know because of Guru Mahārāj identifying. In the case of Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, then Shakti Avesh Avatar, of whom? Of Nityananda Prabhu. Well, also Srila Gurudev is almost like a Shakti Avesh Avatar. I mean, this isn't the right expression, but I mean, I'm trying to give the idea. Empowered by Srila Guru Mahārāj to do what he's doing, to distribute Srila Guru Mahārāj to the world, to everybody. Not, we say the world, it's not even limited to the world. We know that the gods would come down, and the gods, the sages. Let's put up a little reminder about Narada Muni, who we read about so frequently, whose songs we sing so happily. Narada Muni, the guru of Veda Vyas, of Valmiki, and of so many. Then we can think that not only in this world, but beyond these worlds, then Srila Guru Mahārāj empowering Srila Gurudev to engage in that service of distributing himself. And yes, I think Praneshwar is on, got her eye on the screen, I think. Okay. Hare Krishna. Anyway, this is For us, it's yesterday. For California and Florida, and we've got nobody with us from Texas today. Oh, we've got Narayani, Nadia Devidasi with us. We've got Narayani with us.
Dandavats.
Dandavat Narayani Didi. And so for you all, still it is Gurudev's Vyasa Puja day. And actually we can make this a little extension of the Vyasa Puja. And we'd love for, actually, if we can please ask for Gurudev's disciples, because it's very much, you know, a very intense day for everybody, but you know, we want to hear from Gurudev's disciples something of the glories of Srila Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Mahārāj. And everybody's got the treasure of Gurudev in their heart, and Gurudev is so wonderful that we can also take up some words from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Krishnadas Kaviraj. We'll borrow them, that you know, if we consider his pastimes, and Ananta Shesh with his thousands of mouths couldn't complete those pastimes. And if we think about it, every day was a special day, and every day was you know, full of instruction, guidance, affection, incidents, all sorts of things taking place. And Gurudev, even in his lightest moments, is talking always like substantial, beneficial, truthful things, including when he's joking. And he was given that certificate, if you like, by Srila Prabhupada. Oh, so you will be a great transcendental humorist. So Gurudev, a very unique personality. So let us start with Praneshwari Devi Dasi, if we may. Let us ask her, disciple of Gurudev, her everything, and let us hear a little from Praneshwari Devi. And her son, Mahamantra Prabhu, also Gurudev's disciple and very capable, faithful, sweet-hearted, tall devotee who was our associate in the Navadip office for some time, happily. Praneshwari.
Gurudev is always blessing us. To prevent to be sentimental, I prefer to call this day the Remembrance Day, because he's glowing in our heart, even though we're aching out of his physical absence. He is constantly nourishing and
Celebration days such as today, that the idea of sound vibration is most potent on celebration days.
Narayani Didi, we're hearing just now from Praneshwari Didi, but you can have your thoughts lined up, and we'll call for you in just a few minutes. Is that okay?
I apologize. I was talking to somebody on Messenger and I had to answer what Vishaka's,
okay.
Vishaka's class this morning. They were asking.
It sounded very topical for our conversation now. We'll just put you on mute and we'll hear from you soon. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot I didn't turn the microphone off. I apologize.
No problem.
No problem. Gurudev is always nourishing and protecting us with immense affection and caring. I would like to mention something. Is not too long. I will make it very short. In 1992, shortly after Srila Gurudev gave Harinam initiation to my two children, Mahamantra and Navakishori, I was still living in Venezuela, and I was kidnapped and taken away by 3 men, one of them with a gun. I was in a city where thieves would steal cars and kidnap people with total impunity. I was about to close the door and start driving a pickup truck when a guy held the door open and with a gun pointed at me with a gesture for me to move over, not to get off the car, but to move to the side. He sat on the driver's seat. I was next to him, and quickly 2 more guys entered on the other side. Mm-hmm. He speeded up, heading to to the border with Colombia, where they usually sell the stolen vehicles. He drove at high speed for about an hour. And then suddenly he turned right and entered a very narrow dirt road. There was no space for two vehicles at the same time. I thought, they are going to kill me because I already saw the faces. So I lowered my head and closed my eyes and started praying to Srila Gurudev. And I said, my Lord, I'm ready to go, but who will raise the kids in Krishna consciousness? I started chanting the Mahamantra, and then I very clearly saw Srila Gurudev smiling at me. But back in my head, I asked myself, why is Gurudev smiling so sweetly when I am in total distress? I couldn't answer, so I continued chanting, and then his sweet smile appeared again. And I felt that I had something to look at. I raised my head, and when I opened my eyes, I was able to understand his sweet smile. He had already saved me. He had sent cows and calves our way, and there was no place for the cows and the truck. So the driver, he turned around and he hit the wired, the barbed wires. And when he was already in the position to go back, I begged him, please let me get off. And Gurudev inspired compassion into this guy because he opened the door, he let me out, and then they left. So I offered obeisances, and I asked Srila Gurudev to please forgive me for asking, why are you smiling if I'm in so much distress? He was smiling because he had already sent the cows and the calves, but I didn't realize that. I understood afterwards. So that was a turning point in my life. I understood that Srila Gurudev is everything, and he is always present and loving and caring. And he is teaching that only faith in him, or we understand that only faith in him is required to be at his holy feet. And that's what we want to be there. Hare Krishna.
I did not expect such a wonderful pastime, to hear such a wonderful pastime. The first time I've ever heard that or any hint of it from yourself.
I never mentioned to anyone, only Mahamantra knows.
And you know, so many devotees actually have treasures like this. I haven't mentioned to anyone, only somebody knows or nobody knows. And this is why when we can invite devotees to share something, I mean, so many surprises come and so many things which by hearing it, it always helps to strengthen, build our own faith. And as Guru Maharaj pointed out, faith is the very basis of our devotional life. We must do everything to protect what we have and to build that faith. And then as one devotee, and I know the devotee sitting beside Guru Maharaj, and then he said to Guru Maharaj, I have full faith in you, but, and then he's starting to say something, and then Guru Maharaj chopped him off from what he was going to say with his but part, and he said to him that full faith, and Gurudev, like Guru Maharaj, Śrīla Maharaj in this case, seriously saying to him, full faith in this plane is not possible. And that devotee, like a little shocked. Is Bhargava Prabhu, he won't mind. Bhargava Prabhu won't mind we mention. So we may think we have full faith, but then you see what a dangerous world it is. We can have faith damaged, and we can have faith damaged in different ways, but especially we must be careful, of course, about Vaishnava aparat. That is told as our very big stumbling block. But not only that, we must be careful about everything. And so our safe place is to follow, and we have to say it, in remembrance of Gurudev. It's the Remembrance Day, as Paneshwari telling us, in remembrance of Gurudev. We have to say, how to avoid, how to try to protect our faith is Srinadapi, Sunichina, Taroriva, Sahishnuna, Amanina, Manadena, and then Kirtaniya Sadaharihi. So these not stories, these pastimes, they're wonderful for the person who it's happened to, but wonderful for us all to protect our faith and build that faith. And we'll always pray for the protection of our faith and protection of ourself from Maya. These two things in particular. Never challenge Maya. And I have sat with a sannyasi in this, okay, this is a long time ago, so don't start thinking who it was, because almost none of you probably would know him. And maybe Kumkum does, but anyhow, I sat with a sannyasi from a long time ago, and thankfully he was not talking to me, he was talking to somebody else, but practically hammering his fist on the table by saying, I can prove I am liberated, I can prove I'm this, that, and the other. And I mean, I was cringing to hear it, just keeping quiet, because I thought, don't tempt Maya, don't tempt the material world. We have to firmly take shelter of Guru's lotus feet. And I mean, this is what was going on in my mind. We're a very junior devotee, but it just sounded like, oh, this is tempting fate. And I think fate is another word for reaction from the material world. Anyway, and unfortunately it did, and then unfortunate things then happened. So we must never be bold, you know, we must learn from the mistakes of others, and we must learn from the good activities that happen, good experiences of others. So, beautiful, Praneshwari. And where's our dear Narayani, who is always going to be, oh, there's a flower. What happened?
It's just that I want to show you, because when you mentioned that verse, I just posted the verse of today's class.
Oh, for the kids, okay. I wonder what's this verse. Trinad api suni chena. Taror api, you have here, no problem. Sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtanya sadaharihi. One who knows himself as more insignificant than a blade of grass, who is as forbearing as a tree, and who gives due honor to others without desiring it for himself, is qualified to sing the glories of Lord Hari constantly. Hare Krishna, wonderful. So we have, unfortunately, in this material world, time does not stand still. So let us try to utilize our time. We have our eternally youthful Narayani Nadia Devi Dasi, who we know is Narayani Didi with us. And I think she's already ready to share something good with us about the glories of Srila Gurudev. So please unmute. We've asked you to unmute. If you could unmute. Okay, great, Narayani.
Dandavats. I feel very shy to say anything today. I've just been listening, and I feel very blessed to have Zoom because my life has been pretty interesting the last few years, especially the last 2 years, and I've been working a lot. And with, you know, if you see everything as a beneficial, then right now I'm pretty blessed because I saw Thailand and Italy. So I saw everybody last night. Then this morning woke up to Vishaka, then Janardhan Maharaj and Sakal, and then you all here, right here. So, and then there was the option for Sri Lake and Sudarshan in Salt Lake City. So for me, I just love to hear everybody. And to me, it's like catching up with everything for probably the last 10 years, because I don't like to focus on certain aspects of what's going on. So I just get to see the beautiful evolution of Gurudev's mercy through all the devotees today. So I feel very blessed to have everybody's association, grace, mercy, to hear and see everybody. Dandavats to all the devotees, my humble obeisances.
So Narayani Devirasi, are we allowed to give a little pressure to you to share one thing that you've heard that kind of inspired you or that was new for you, something that you've heard from this last day of listening to the devotees, something to share?
Well, Dandavats, I don't know that my back thoughts so good. I believe Vishaka this morning, there was one Prabhu that started speaking, and she was kind of speaking actually about how it was said in Śrīla Maharaj's astrology that, I mean, I don't know if I should bring everything up. I'm not so focused, you know, but like the idea of substance over form, and then how of all of, you know, Srila Saraswati Thakur's disciples, Srila Maharaj was, I think they were saying like most profound. I'm never really good with complete actual words. I'm good with hearing and getting like the idea and the gist and the mood. So how Srila Maharaj was so exalted, but also is, you know, an astrologer said, this is what Vishaka was saying, that an astrologer said that his mission is kind of heavy. So his mission would, like, as he departs, as, you know, we become more, Vishaka said, lecha. And then, I don't know, the thing that really caught me was actually really heavy and maybe complicated to speak, and probably better to hear just directly from them. So that inspired me to, like, with everything that I've been hearing and seeing and negativity, to see that, you know, the idea is that, you know, instead of seeing us as like some, you know, making so much segregations, I wasn't taught segregations in, you know, Vaishnava culture. Like, you know, I when I saw Gurudev, you know, we're seeing that everybody has beauty. You're looking to the positives in everybody. You're giving all tolerance, all respect, all honor. So the idea to speak about Sahaji and Mayavadi, all that's been confusing for me. I don't really want to hear about it too much. You know, I was taught that the Jivatma is in everything. So everything's, you know, has that essence and that want to serve. So you want to help everything and give everything positive and beauty to encourage that more going up and forward. So that's would be my lingo for saying such things. So to me, like, you know, seeing Visakha and her, you know, candor and sense of humor over, you know, how devotees, like, you know, a lot of times we don't necessarily know how to do things, you know, but the essence and the qualities there. But, you know, sometimes, you know, when you have the substance over form, like something like, I don't remember what you said, but like, we don't necessarily behave as you might see, say, other Vaishnavas, you know, like I was just talking to somebody, I'm like, oh, you know, today in Gaudiya Math, you know, you don't see somebody cleanly shaven going to the mandir, you know. When I see somebody like that, I'm like, oh, I know where they're from. They're coming from an ISKCON temple, you know. So to me, like, all
hey, I'm sometimes cleanly shaven.
Madhusudan Maharaj.
I'm from ISKCON. I am from ISKCON.
And I'm originally from an ISKCON baby, right? So, and Madhusudan Maharaj is properly always cleanly shaven, actually. You're always on time. You're very poignant. You taught me how to do so many things. As a matter of fact, anything that I know probably came from Madhusudan Maharaj originally. So even how to type on the keyboard.
Right. Put your fingers in the right place. Yes. You remember.
Well, you had me make that map. I was only 14 years old, and I'm like, but I don't know how. And you're like, well, here's the home keys. Split the keyboard up, do it intuitively, and come back, and I'll tell you if you did it right. Follow your intuition. Trust in Krishna and Guru. It'll just happen. Go do it. And I came back, and I think it took me a while because that's the type of thing I do. But
anyhow, yes.
Yeah. So then Vishaka was laughing about how in Gurudev's astrology, an astrologer was saying that by the time he's passed on, that his mission, everybody, like, you know, the the I don't know what to call it, like the facade or the proper things of you know, the rules, because the rules and the regulations were not following Vidimarg so much. We're following, I don't know what she said, and I don't want to say it because,
Ragamag, probably.
yeah, we're following more Ragamarg, which then you see people get so lost in Ragamarg, then all shape and form is gone. So, or all Vidimarg is gone. So then how, you know, an astrologer said by the end, and she's kind of laughing at that. And then this one Prabhupada, you know, and he started speaking, and then he says, well, actually, if I could say that, you know, the essence, you know, in that way, it's like a laugh and a joke, which you can do that, but then it's like, oh, what is she saying? You know, and then he says, actually, in all the beauty and the strength of Śrīla Mahārāj, I don't know how, so beautifully eloquent he said it, you know, is that in the strength of him and his, you know, and the power, I would just say, for the lingo that I know, the Shakti that he's like leaving and bestowing, then that actually on these, you know, so these days like today, or, you know, when the great Vaishnavas, all the celebration days, disappearance days, they're like the most important in this time and space. He said, I wanted to bring up the idea of sound vibration, and how sound vibration on these days, you know, with kirtan, like the holy name, is actually most potent on these days. So then that to me reminds me, that just made me jump up and be like, no matter how much it's on Zoom, no matter where I'm going, what I'm doing, you know, no matter how lazy, I already woke up this morning and I was asking Sita on Messenger, I'm like, you know, I can't remember things. Sometimes I have to remember a lot of things these days. And I asked her, like, what does Bhakti Lata Bish mean? And she says, seed of devotion. So I sent her the link for Vishaka's class. And then, you know, then when I was thinking about that, then like just coming to mind is like chant japa, you know. So this morning I got the chant japa, I saw Vishaka, I heard them say that. For me, that's the inspiring thing that like made my day, in my terms, magical again, you know, like some inspiration when you get a little lost in negativity, too much negativity comes, and hardship comes, and my heart has become a bit hard. So
take shelter of the name, take shelter of the devotees, and take shelter of Gurudev and Guru Mahārāj every day from now on forever. Yes?
yes.
Okay, Narayani, beautiful, many thanks. And Kumkum Didi, will you allow me to give the opportunity for Gurudev's, like Gurudev only disciples, as it were. We are disciples of Guru, you are disciple of Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada. But today we also have Mathura Basini Didi with us, and she's a disciple of Srila Gurudev, and the first and second, and her family. And we just an opportunity to hear from them today, because it is Gurudev, like special day. But Kumkum Didi, with all respect to you, and if we allow ourselves, as we've been doing actually yesterday, normally we have a 1 hour program. Yesterday we literally having 2 hours programs, almost 2 hours, and one was over 2 hours, so just automatically. So unless we, but today I can't stretch it out too much. And then, I mean, there are so many things to say. So you and I, we sit back a little bit and we hear from the devotees today.
That would be wonderful.
Jai, many thanks, Kumkum Didi. So Mathura Basini Didi, please, if we may draw from you some aspect of the treasure of Srila Gurudev.
Jai Dandavat Maharaj. What comes to my mind with all Srila Gurudev's trips to South Africa is I was only serving while devotees got to take him to the zoo and do fun stuff. I was always just in the kitchen cooking. But a very good story is one year when he came here, we arranged for him a VIP arrival at the airport. We did all the paperwork and everything. And when Gurudev came, you get all the black cars rushing to the plane to pick up the very important person. But we're sitting and waiting at the normal arrival port at the in the airport, and we waiting and seeing that the flight has arrived. but we don't know where to actually go and receive this very important person. And Srila Gurudev, he's walking around the airport and he's thinking, oh, but my children have arranged all of this and no one is here to receive me. And next thing, we all just focused on the entrance, and Gurudev is coming from the back. And you can imagine everyone, dandavats and all of that. So shocking. You know, the person we were waiting for is coming from behind us. And then he took few of the devotees to the VIP lounge and started chatting. And, you know, he was actually on transit to Durban. And we had such a good, you know, such nice talks and all of those things. But Srila Gurudev, he's so considerate to the ladies section. Once when we served him in Johannesburg, and I was so excited to go to Durban, and at that time I was quite a new driver, and I took 3 other devotees and we drove. It was like 4 people driving this car. And when you got to Durban, all that anxiety and just to see Srila Gurudev, and you can see the relief on his face to see that, you know, yeah, the devotees have arrived from Johannesburg. And he was taking prasadam, so I went to the table, and next thing, while eating, he was chanting this beautiful song. And I was so covered over that I don't even remember the song. But in that song, it was the name Mathura Vasani, and then he gives the explanation of the name. And I don't even remember that. But, you know, there's so much of little stories to say with Srila Gurudev. It's like you just get more puffed up, because when he's giving praise to you that you are serving him, and he's satisfied with that service. And in the days we were so few devotees, so the devotees that were here, we had to double up and just do more and more service, arranging TV sessions and radio sessions and university programs. You're trying to do all of that, and you know, just such beautiful memories of Srila Gurudev in South Africa. It's just if you were at the right place and the service came to you, and if you never took that service for granted. And I'm so fortunate to say I'm still doing the kitchen service today. So, dandavat.
Yes, I'm muted, excuse me. Yes. Beautiful, very Dandavat, and we are also transported there. Only one, my question is very mundane. How did 4 people drive one car?
Yeah, they're telling me, watch the trucks. It was, you know, we had to send Gurudev and clean out the place and everything. So it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm so nervous. I'm the only older qualified driver there. And be careful, do this, do that, don't do that. So that is.
Okay, got it. I understand now. The backseat driver, the backseat drivers as well as you. I understand. And I'm trying to think. Yes, so Paramananda Prabhu, last but not least, and we do have Jayananda Prabhu here, but please Paramananda Prabhu first. And Jayananda Prabhu is actually Guru Maharaj's disciple, correct? Jayananda Prabhu? I believe so. Srila Prabhupada's.
Srila Goswami Maharaj.
Oh, Goswami Jayananda. But he's an old devotee. Jayananda Prabhu, welcome anyhow, our Dandavat to you. So please let us pass the microphone to Paramananda Prabhu. He's Srila Gurudev's disciple through, yes, Jayananda Prabhu Dandavat. We pass the microphone to Paramananda Prabhu, who we've heard, of course, many times before, and very happily, and so many treasures coming out that we've heard long, I mean, many hours of so many Harikatha, but always some fresh things are coming out by churning the pastimes of Srila Gurudev. So, Paramananda Prabhu, let us hear from your
Maharaj, we remember that verse that we all know, Machitamat Gata Pranabhotayantash Parasparam Katayantash Shamam Nityatushanti Charamantisha. This is what devotees do when they speak about Krishna or they speak about devotees of Krishna. And really, we notice that every time we gather together, God brothers, God sisters, God nephews, is it nephew? The children of our brothers and sisters.
I think so, yes.
We all talk about Gurudev Maharaj, really. He is our central point. How can we understand Krishna? How can we understand Mahaprabhu or not? Anything about them or anything about the upper world. Gurudev is our window. And since we're telling stories today and thinking of Narayani's point, form, substance over the form, I can tell the story of my meeting with Śrīla Gurudev for the first time, which was obviously a substance over the form for me, big time. Coming from a ISKCON background, and Maharaj can understand that, and being a Bhakta, we call ourselves Bhakta zombies in the sense that we're strict, fanatical followers of Vidhi Marg in many, many forms of that. So when I did arrive to the mat for the first time, I was immediately taken by Avadut Maharaj. And think about who is taking me there? Avadut. So you expect something very Avadutish to happen. And I'm thinking, I said, Prabhu, he wasn't a Maharaj then. So I said, Prabhu, let me just change at least. He said, no, that cannot wait. You must go to see the Acharya of the mission. I said, yes, this is the reason I would like to change. He said, no delays, go straight. So he brought me as I was after a trip from Thailand coming to Navadvip. And then I coming there to see Śrīla Gurudev. And before that, I had some internal, we can say, issues. I've been reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, and at some point of that part of my life, I thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't have been reading Chaitanya Charitamrita at all, because it's caused only problem in my life, but a sweet problem. I started looking for a personality from the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita. I was thinking, where can I find such a Vaishnava? Are they actually exist now? So I was in that search. I left the organization and I'm thinking, how can I find that Vaishnava? Where can I find him? So I'm coming up the stairs in Navadvip, entering Gurudev's veranda, and there he is sitting. And no one is there. It's just me, Avadut Maharaj, and Gurudev. At the time I'm entering, Gurudev is having a very relaxed time. There is a Bengali drama on TV. There's a cup of garam jal that he is enjoying. And in the same time, he is having a newspaper like that. And when, of course, when we're coming in, he put the newspaper down, he turned off the TV, and said, oh, welcome, Prabhu. And then Avadut Maharaj is introducing me. And the first thing, Gurudev is observing me, he can see I'm very much bewildered because I thought, oh, I'm going to see the Acharya of the mission. It must be a great Vyasasan. I have to crawl there, offer a Koti Dandavats, and maybe through somebody I may have some conversation. There must be some retinue of the followers, and I will not be allowed to speak to that Acharya like we did. And then he's observing me, and he knows, Gurudev knows very well what is going on in my mind. There's no doubt about it. And he's reading that. And then immediately he smiles and he says, Prabhu, some tea? And, and I'm from ISKCON, and I'm, Maharaj, I say, Avadut, what is happening? I'm not taking any tea. And Gurudev and Avadut saying, no, you take whatever coming from the Guru, you must take it. He's the great saint. He's a great Vaishnava. Take it, you idiot, he said. And then he's pushing me, and I'm taking the cup, and I'm not drinking. And Gurudev, he just keeps silent. He looks at me and said, Prabhu, drink? And I said, yes, I will drink later, Maharaj. He said, no, Prabhu, you must take now. He's got his very mischievous smile. And his eyes are sparkling. He just wants to break this mental cage that I entered. So finally I had some, it was fantastic tea. And then the next thing comes. And Avadut Maharaj says, and Gurudev, can you just give him initiation right now? I said, hey, how about asking me first? What do you mean? I'm initiated already, like both initiations. don't do that to me. It's a great offense. You know how in the societies they're thinking that you're betraying the society, you're betraying the devotees. And Gurudev smiles, and he's so much enjoying this whole exchange and what is going on in my head. But I have to say, one thing I observed in my heart, as soon as I entered, the moment I saw him, that voice in my heart said, this is it. You have arrived to your destination. This is the person you've been looking for. And the rest was just a mental noise. And of course, Avadut Maharaj says, can you give him initiation? Gurudev smiles and said, Prabhu, I can give you initiation right now. And I said, oh, Gurudev, can I ask the blessings and permission of my previous guru? Can I go to Mayapur tomorrow and do that? I said, oh, yes, Prabhu, you can. And I actually went and asked, but it's all kind of, it's all nonsense. When we are in the presence of such an agent of the supreme truth, of the upper world, of Galoka Vrindavan, Gurudev is the agent of Galoka. His only reason to come is to serve his master, Guru Mahārāj, to assist him in his divine service. And why is Guru Mahārāj? Why are they coming? And we can have a little hint about that from Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Why did Gopakumar came? He was very happy in Galoka Vrindavan. He was a member of the Radharani's family and serving Krishna nicely, and very, very happy. And one day Radharani calls Gopakumar and says, please, there is one thing I want you to do. There's this one Brahmin, he's my devotee, but he's lost. He needs some help. Can you just go and help him? And then we know the rest of the story. So in a similar way, this is the position of our Guru Varga. And not just general Galoka environment. It's very, we can say it's very, the highest service available in Galoka Vrindavan. This is what our gurus are engaged in. This is the line we've been fortunate to come in touch with. How fortunate we are, do we understand or not? I do not know. I have no idea. I've been thinking about it, trying to understand my fortune, because with that understanding will come a lot of realizations, and my faith will become strong. Maybe some taste will come at some time, but I'm yet to realize my fortune. And now I'm thinking how to not to lose that fortune. So, and Srila Avadut Maharaj, he called to Goswami Maharaj yesterday, and his question was, what is the most important thing we have to talk on this kind of days, on the disappearance day of the Guru? And of course, Srila Goswami Maharaj, and like you heard, he's talking about virag, and how virag is almost like a tool, a mining tool that brings the highest feelings of devotion from the heart of the devotee. And again, he stressed one point, and we also have to talk about what was dear to our Guru. What was the most dear to him, and the most dear to Śrīla Gurudev was Guru Mahārāj. Guru Mahārāj's mission, Guru Mahārāj's ideals, Guru Mahārāj's teachings. He said that I'm breathing because of his mercy. There is no other reason. I'm alive because of his mercy. So whatever I do is for him. And we know, if we want to find the way, a path to the heart of Śrīla Gurudev, what is the secret? I think everybody knows about them. Offer some service and some appreciation to Śrīla Guru Mahārāj. Immediately you will capture the heart of Śrīla Govinda Mahārāj. And of course, we don't mention that, but sincerely, with faith, with enthusiasm, and so many other things. And of course, humility, tolerance, offering respects to everyone. That goes without mentioning, should go without mentioning. So capturing Śrīla Guru Mahārāj, he is giving him to us. And just like Shukadev Goswami, when Vyasadeva is present in front of Shukadev Goswami, and Shukadev Goswami reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva, he is stunned to hear that. It came from him. Shukadev listened while he was still in the womb of his mother. But his presentation is so sweet, so beautiful, so unique, so heart-melting that Vyasadeva himself, his heart is melted. So Śrīla Govinda Mahārāj is like that. Whatever given by Śrīla Guru Mahārāj, he takes that, he chooses that, and then he gives it to us. And it takes it becomes extra sweet, extra beautiful, extra divine, everything extra. Like we hear the devotees have names, Su Lakshana, Sushmita. It's become Su. It's multiplied by infinite. And it's still Guru Maharaj. So in that sense, they are inseparable. Same ideals coming down from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami to our Guru Varga, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Saraswati Thakur, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev. All of them inseparable. And this is what we have to focus on, his message, his instructions, what he wanted from us, how he wanted us to serve, how he wanted us to behave. So this, what we should think. And when we look at Madhusudan Maharaj, we're thinking about, oh, the shaved head, the tilak, a proper dress. Why are we doing that? We're doing that for the satisfaction of our Guru. There is no other reason. We're not adepts of the Indian culture, with all due respect, Sevarupa and Mathura Vasinididi. We are the followers of Mahaprabhu. We're not followers of the Hindu Dharma. But we dress like that and we behave in a certain way because that pleases Srila Gurudev. There is no other reason. It pleases our Guru Varga. This is why we're doing. Why there have to be any other reason for that? And just to conclude, like Maharaj said, once we start, we can just keep going and going and going and going. And we will never find an end, just like Ananta Shesha, with his thousands and millions and billions of the mouths. But we can conclude there's a beautiful shloka composed by Srila Guru Maharaj, glorifying Srila Saraswati Thakur, Nikhila Bhuvanamoyi, and the last line of that, Vilasatu Hridya Nityam, Bhakti Sundar Govinda Vani. We can change that and it will be approved by them, saying that let the instructions of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj eternally play in our heart. This is our prayer and this is our hope. And like I mentioned yesterday, let this day be every day of our life where we can remember Srila Gurudev with such intensity. It's not just appearance and disappearance days. Every day we have to do that. Try to do that. And that will take us on a path of devotional life. And like Srila Gurudev said, don't worry about anything. I'm taking you all with me, but not just sitting on the couch and waiting till Gurudev take you. No. Faith, be faithful, be loyal, be chaste, do seva, chant the holy names. And then there is no doubt Srila Gurudev will take us all with him. And that's just a matter of time, which is relative and it doesn't really matter. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Wo. Well, now Kum Diri. Coming to you, you have a hard act to follow, as they say. But everyone can give something. And actually, Kum, she's Srila Prabhupada's disciple. I think everybody here knows. Srila Prabhupada's disciple, Srila Guru Maharaj's disciple, Srila Gurudev's disciple.
And she's a cherry on top.
With a cherry on top. Oh, she's a cherry on top. Okay, yes. So, Kum Diri. Last but not least, please, you can give us your devotional wisdom, which is not knowledge. Devotional wisdom is another dimension. So, Kum, microphone to you.
From the grace of such great gurus that I have been benefited with, I should definitely have some insight. And of course, when I first met Srila Gurudev, I was very, very surprised because, to back up a little bit, we had been very surprised when we got the grace of Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Maharaj because we were orphaned, unfortunately. We got some of introduction from Srila Prabhupada and he gave everything, but we were too incapable of understanding very much at all. So when he departed, we were so gladdened to find out that there's somebody, and what I thought, and many people thought, was here's somebody who can tell us about Srila Prabhupada. And like, we know that he's not simply friends with these people that we see him on the long japa walks on the beach. That's not his actual associates. And so now we're learning that there's someone who is his associate. And we want to learn about him. And so that was one of our first reasons to hear from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And then as they say, lo and behold, it became obvious that Srila Prabhupada's own words, Guru is one, and he appears in an infinity of forms to save you, me, and all others, is true. He's preparing us by that statement to recognize the grace of Srila Guru Maharaj. And then, lo and behold, it happens all over again. After the departure of Śrīla Maharaj, we find out that this very same quality of Guru and saving grace is within Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Mahārāj. And our fortune can't even begin to be described, but it was undeniable that it's the very same quality of mercy descending to us. And so I will keep it a little bit short because we have exceeded 1 hour on this very full and wonderful day. But one of the things that I would like to be sure and bring up about him, I got the fortune this morning of being at Sokel Ashram and hearing directly from Srila Janardhan Maharaj, and being at that Pushpa Samadhi Mandir. I remember the very first time I had a festival there was the first disappearance. It was only 1 year after he disappeared due to the extreme wonderful, well, many things, seen and unseen, but also the amazing capacity of Hashapriya Prabhu and his sincerity to take quite seriously that Gurudev had said, I want to be in that tree so that I can look down and watch the children play. And I remember at that first festival, and it struck me how if all of the plans that we had spoken to him about, and especially Hashapriya, of course, about Sokel Ashram, if he had said, yes, they're all going to come true. And the first one you will see is how nice my Pushpa Samadhi Mandir turns out. We would have died, but that was actually the case. It was impossible to think that somebody could build such, not just a tiny thing on a perch that you could see from the street and look up at, but a place where so many could be nicely seated, but on such a steep hill, almost a perfect slope like that. But with the grace of one very sweet old disciple of Srila Prabhupada named Bahulaban, who is a professional builder. He figured out everything. And so that hill is very stable, how very deep all of the, what do you call those things? I guess they're made of rebar or something. They go deep into, so that they'll never, pardon?
Plies, like concrete plies, the sticks of concrete made with rebar and concrete.
So deep that it could support all of this very heavy concrete, which creates the platform itself, and then the beautifully made surrounding area where people can sit, and ultimately the Pushpa Samadhi itself. And so you'd never know that you're on the side of a hill that sometimes gets very wet and could wash away with mud. And it wasn't only the local devotees who loved to do some part, to put their heart into it, which is so brilliant, but also from around the world. And one of the very most beautiful and amazing things is that someone sent some beautiful lions. And as we know, this is common in India to have lions guarding, but these are not Indian style lions. These are Thailand style lions. And it's very wonderful to see them because we know how much Srila Gurudev loved being in Thailand and the great service that went on there. And it gave him so much pleasure. And so we were very happy to see these Thai style lions, and they are there now guarding it all. And they were gifts from some devotees who sent them. from Thailand. And I myself didn't see the packing slip, so I didn't see the sender's name, but I was told by a reliable source that this was they were sent by one very wonderful Paramananda Prabhu and Krishna Priya Didi. So I believe that to be true. And that so much pleasure is being given to all the devotees who are missing Srila Gurudev too much.
Actually, Kumkum Didi, we're so grateful to Hasya Priya Prabhu, because when Samadhi project was ongoing, he called me and said, Prabhu, I'm thinking Gurudev spoke so much about Thailand and how he liked the architecture there, how he liked the lions and tigers in general. So I said, what do you think? I said, well, I think it's a good idea. And I couldn't find anything suitable for quite a long time. And Hasya Priya Prabhu is pushing me. He said, we are soon going to have the opening, so please find something quick. And then it was in Chiang Mai. And really, I was on the phone with Hasya Priya, and I parked the car so I could speak. And it happened that I parked the car right opposite that shop. And while I'm talking, I said, oh, Hasya Priya, I think I found them. They were looking right at me on the roadside. So I took a photo, I sent it to him, and he was excited. He said, that's it. These are the lines we want. So that's how it was arranged. So really, we were very fortunate to be able to do that seva for Srila Gurudev Samadhi.
Yes. Yes, we are fortunate. Whoever gets some service to him or in his line from here on to eternity is very fortunate. Very transcendental.
Jai. Beautiful, Kumkumdiri, beautiful, everybody. We're happy to pass the microphone around the grandchildren also. The grandchildren of Gurudev. But on this
Maharaj,
occasion, yes, Paramananda.
Radha Sundari, I think she is a disciple of Gurudev, but she got initiated when she was quite young.
Oh, Radha Sundari, okay, you see, really, you know, when Gurudev is present, when Guru Maharaj is present, we're not looking at everybody and thinking like, whose disciple are they? Actually, we're all here together, we're one family. And because Radha Sundari is a young lady, I was thinking that, oh, she's grandchild. But Radha Sundari Didi, whether you are this direct disciple or not, you can first say to us. And if you are also a grandchild, we're also very happy to hear from you. The microphone has automatically come to you.
I'm disciple of Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Mahārāj. I was initiated at 2006. It was summertime, and we all took initiation in one day with Kanu and Indukanti's children in Ukraine. But they come to Russia in that time. It was one festival. Avadut Maharaj did one festival, Etna Life, I think. And I was 9 years old there at that time. And my mom, she said we meet Gurudev when I was really small, like 2 years in airport. And first time when Gurudev come to Russia, I only born. He come at 1996, and this is the year when I born. Actually, he come in autumn. I saw some videos, and it's like September 1996. And Gurudev first time to Russia, and I born in that year and that month.
Okay.
That's coincidence. But it's, yeah, so I doesn't have a connection with Gurudev like Paramananda Prabhu and you have, but in my heart I always feel his support, how he's taking care of me and always moving me to the right way, I think. In 2006, we was in St. Petersburg, and Gurudev was there also. So we meet him, but I don't remember. I just saw him, but not so much conscious. And some children also paint some picture to Gurudev and present to him. I don't know if I do this or not. I think I was just a kid. Ладно, подожди. Да. No, sorry.
No.
I don't have so much to say.
All is beautiful, Radha Sundari. Very nice. You were born. Okay, I won't ask you what's your first memory, I suppose. But what's your first ever memory? Can you think that?
About Gurudev?
No, about anything.
I have not so much good memory. My younger sister, she remember everything in childhood, like from child. When she was very small, she remembers some small details, but I don't have like this.
Okay.
I have more emotional memory. So when I feel some strong emotions, this I remember, only this. So I don't remember. When I was small, maybe not so clear. Padma, my daughter, also have very good memory. She can remember everything in details, but I don't have.
Okay, all right, excellent. And the main thing is, let us all remember the lotus feet of our most wonderful Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Mahārāj, especially now and but every day, not only today on special days, but every day. This is actually our life and soul, and Gurudev giving much hope to us, but we must be careful that our own nature doesn't make us hopeless. We must have always hope throughout all circumstances, and let us remember Gurudev. He's the example of Vaishnava behavior, Vaishnava etiquette, how to deal with others, all so many things. And so remembering him, following his example, trying to be good children, trying to grow up under the care of Srila Gurudev, Srila Guruma, Srila Prabhupada. Let us keep that safe route in front of us and not go adventurous into any other corners. And may everyone's life very soon be successful. And when we read the Brihat Bhagavatamritam also, if you count the number of years, soon can be a long time. So let us at the soonest be successful, rather than just say, oh yes, one kalpa is passing by. Because Gopakumar even became Lord Brahma for a while. So think how many years that is. So,
well, he occupied his post, Maharaj, but he did not become a Brahma. But in the sense of occupying the post, he was dressed as a cowherd boy all the time.
Oh, right. He wouldn't leave his cowherd boy clothing.
And Maharaj,
right.
Radha Sundari just mentioned one thing, and I just wanted to say, she said, oh,
Please.
I haven't had enough association with Srila Gurudev, and other devotees were very fortunate. Really, I would like to disagree with that. And I agree that, yes, they were very fortunate. But also there is so much treasure in the heart of not just young disciples of Srila Gurudev, but the grandchildren of Srila Gurudev. And yesterday, during the evening program, I asked devotees who are all grandchildren to tell me about Srila Gurudev. And they expressed their hearts very beautifully. And you can see another aspect of Gurudev's nature, another form of Srila Gurudev expressed through their hearts. Because there is no doubt he touched the heart of everyone and will be touching the heart of everybody in the future. Grandchildren, grandchildren, it will continue.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Asatara Sata Srimad. Wonderful Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Mahārāj Ki Jai. And sometimes, really, when we ask some descriptions, so sometimes we're asked, tell us something about Gurudev. And I suppose one expression that I would use would be, after really thinking how to summarize Gurudev, the most wonderful person you could ever meet. This Srila Gurudev, who touched the whole world, the hearts of the whole world. Ki Jai. And Jai And for Gurudev's satisfaction, but always inseparably, Jai Om Vishnu Par Paramhansa Paravrajacharya Astatar Sarashi Shimad, wonderful Śrīla Bhakti Rock of Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. And Jai Bhagavan Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, or Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai, Shri Śrīla Vishwaranya Śrīla A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, and all of our present day Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai, the worldwide devotees Ki Jai, all assembled devotees Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. And I have Facebook on, but I must admit I didn't, except at the beginning, I didn't look to see who was here, and now it's changed. To those on Facebook, please excuse me. I know Anukul Chandrabu was there in the beginning. Now it's my Facebook by itself has gone to somewhere else. Facebook seems to do that. So to everybody who's with us now, and may your evening for those on the further west, and may the day for those of us on the further east side of the world, may it all be full of Krishna consciousness, Gurudev consciousness, and every moment of every day from now until we return to our home, may that be soon. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Vancha Kaupa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat to all the good Vaishnavas everywhere. Hare Krishna.
Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai.
And thank you all for your contributions all along. Dandavat.